So good to see you. Welcome to KREM News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. And we begin coming in new at noon with this. The Federal Trade Commission is joining in an effort to block a merger of Kroger and Albertson's grocery stores. The FTC says the deal would basically eliminate competition and lead to higher prices for millions of Americans. Several attorney generals, including Washington State's attorney general, have sued to try and block the merger. The two companies said the deal would help them better compete with big rivals like Walmart, Amazon, and Costco. Also following this, a developing story here at the noon hour. Spokane Public Schools is working right now to fully restore its phone and internet service. You may have noticed, if you have a student in the district, that the district did send out a notice to parents this morning warning about service disruptions. However, in the last 20 minutes, SPS said it is making progress on the outage and some areas have been fully restored. The district said it believes the outage was weather related. So we'll keep you updated as we learn more. All right, speaking of weather, let's talk about it. Winds are easing up a little bit after some pretty strong gusts yesterday and through last night. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is standing by.
Yeah, and it's still a fair bit breezy. You're going to hear that on the microphone from time to time. So I'm going to try to hold my back to the wind here, which would be towards the west, because that is where the winds are coming from. Just all for your enjoyment here at noon. But look at Doppler radar and how it lights up with the snowfall. But is it snow or is it graupel for this afternoon? I think we have the right atmospheric profile to give us graupel showers, and Doppler radar is just going to plot it as snow because it technically doesn't see the difference here. But look at the Palouse between Pullman and Moscow. If you're here and it's snowing or graupeling, snap a picture so we can see, because that does look quite intense. Because here in Spokane, we got the sun coming through the clouds here, though these are very spring-like cumulus clouds. Of course, still 37 degrees or so, and there looks to be another one of these snow or graupel showers in Coeur d'Alene as well. Again, would love to see your photos if you got them, but here in Spokane, we haven't seen any precipitation. It is all just the wind, as you hear. We're at 38 now. There's that wind again from my backside at 20 miles per hour. It won't be as severe as it was yesterday, but it's going to remain breezy today. But we'll track how long these snow or graupel showers will be present today and when our next proper snow chance is going to be later on this week. That's all coming up in a few minutes.
So if you don't have it yet, we do want to remind you, take the time to download the KREM 2 app. You can sign up to get severe weather alerts or check the forecast that's happening right in your neighborhood. KREM 2 app is free to download in your phone's app store. The West Plains is hosting a community meeting this evening to answer some questions about water contamination. Nicole Hernandez gives us a preview of what they're expected to talk about.
So this meeting is going to be all about PFAS. It's a chemical that's found in fire retardant that now is getting into the water here in the West Plains. The meeting is going to be here in Airway Heights at the Hub, and Dr. Bob Lutz is going to be here to answer questions about PFAS. If you remember, Dr. Lutz used to be the health officer for the Spokane Regional Health District, and last week he told us people should try to avoid PFAS exposure.
And right now, primarily in West Plains, it's water. But also know that if you're eating foods that have been grown out there or animals that have been raised out there, it's likely they've been exposed to PFAS as well.
The EPA says they're going to pay to test 300 people's wells in the West Plains. You can find the link to request a test on our website, krem.com. And Dr. Lutz says there's also a blood test you can take to see if you have PFAS in your blood. He will be talking more about that later today, and he'll just be generally answering questions from the community about this chemical. That is happening tonight at the Hub here in Airway Heights. That starts at 7 o'clock this evening. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
The man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students is expected back in court on Wednesday. The defense is now asking that more investigators be allowed to view certain genetic evidence. The court will also discuss moving Brian Kohberger's trial out of Latah County, as well as scheduling a date for the trial itself. The hearing begins at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Also this week, Idaho's longest-serving death row inmate is set to be executed on Wednesday. Thomas Creech was sentenced to death for the murder of a fellow inmate back in 1981. He has admitted to killing dozens of people. There have been several appeals made to switch Creech's sentence to life in prison. However, the most recent one was denied on Friday. Now to a story we've been following for months. In ongoing efforts to reduce theft and break-ins of both Kias and Hyundais, the Spokane Police Department is now offering additional safety equipment for free. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is telling us about this new resource.
Yeah, so they'll be giving out these steering wheel locks, and of course this is nothing new. It's an old school device, but it provides an extra layer of safety and security for your car. And actually, we talked about what started the spike in these crimes. It started with a social media TikTok trend called the Kia Boys, and what they do is they go around and they target vehicles like Kias and Hyundais because they have a lack of anti-theft material in those cars. So this isn't a problem that's only happening in Spokane, it's happening across the country. So to combat the issue, SPD and the Spokane County Sheriff's Office formed a task force to curb theft and vandalism of the vehicles. Several arrests were made. Many of those arrested were young teenagers, but over the past few weeks, law enforcement says there's been an increase in thefts once again, specifically Kias.
Crime is like water. It'll always take the path of least resistance. So if they walk up and they see this, it's extra effort, and odds are good they're going to bypass and move on to the other vehicle. So this whole thing was just an attempt to kind of help deter the crime trend that we had with this.
So the steering wheel locks came in through a grant from the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority, and as of last Friday, about 135 people had scheduled or already picked up one of these clubs from SPD. If you or someone you know needs one, all you have to do is contact SPD Crime Victim Advocates Office at 509-625-4124. They'll go ahead and schedule an appointment for you and pick a time when it's best for you to come pick up one of these steering wheel locks. But for now, reporting in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.